Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lorena. I am an Akashic Records Reader. I also do psychic and mediumship readings. I do Akashic Record mentorship sessions, and I also am a flower essence therapist, as well as work with a little bit of Akashic hypnosis to help people connect and feel more connected to their soul. So my mission really is to help people on a soul spiritual journey, but also just to help with anything they're going through in this life and anything that they need to work on. And many times we'll find that a lot of our issues are very rooted in things that have happened in our past, maybe in a past life. And in Akashic Records reading, for example, you can see a lot of that. A lot of things can be healed through a reading, but also through flower essences or other types of readings or tools. So in today's video, I really wanted to talk about if an Akashic Records reading is right for you. There are so many types of readings out there, from, like I said, psychic, mediumship, tarot, there's crystal healing, there's Reiki, there's so many types of things, and it could be a little overwhelming, right? I know that the Akashic Records isn't something that everybody hears about, and if you're here, you've obviously somehow heard about it through a friend or yourself, or you've had a reading before, or you're looking into having a reading. To me, it really is all about finding the right tool for you and at the right time. So the Akashic Records might be that for you, or it might not. There are so many options to align, heal, understand yourself, and it can be a little overwhelming when there are so many options out there. I mean, there's other ones that I haven't mentioned, like family constellations. There's so much, just coaching. There's so many things that we can lean on and people can help us with. And an Akashic Records reading is just one of those. As an Akashic Records reader, and from years and years of having my Akashic Records read from other readers, which, you know, it's been over, I want to say, over 15 years ago that I had my first reading, and really changed my life forever and how I connected to spirituality, my soul, and feeling connected to my mission and purpose. And it's been a journey, of course, but I can't say that I have any other type of reading that I can compare to an Akashic Records reading. It's so different from every other type of reading I've ever received, and I've tried many things. So I put together a little list of indicators or items that you can take into consideration to know if an Akashic Records reading is right for you right now on this path that you're on for maybe healing, spiritual connection, or just finding more answers in your path. So let's get right into the video. I put together a list of 10 different things that I've taken into consideration that I think could give you a good indication of if you're ready for an Akashic Records reading or not. So number one is you are needing to connect to yourself to receive guidance from your soul and spiritual team. And I think this one is the number one that I would put at the top right now, because that was the one that I most connected to. I felt so separated from my spiritual path, from my spiritual team, from my masters, my guides, from everything, that moment that I went into that first ever reading when someone read for me, it was life-changing. I felt instantly connected. I felt instantly connected to, I don't know, at like a spiritual level, like I wasn't alone, and that there was someone there with me on that journey, and that my masters and guides were closer than I ever imagined, because I would never speak to them or connect with them. So if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't want to say alone, but more like you're unable to connect with that side of yourself, a reading could really help you start to build that connection with your spiritual team and start to, you know, it's like start to work on that relationship with them through the reading. And that you can, you know, leave that reading and feel, well, maybe I'll start to meditate and start to connect and call upon them for assistance. It really leaves you with this feeling of, they're there, they're always there, they're always giving me guidance, I'm just not listening, or I'm not reaching out to them. Number two, you feel you have things you need to heal from your past, or maybe even a past life. The Akashic Records are great for past life information. It's not the same as a past life regression. I want to say that because a lot of people go into a reading thinking, well, tell me all about my past lives, and that's not really how an Akashic Records reading works. It's more about the past lives that are affecting you in this life and in the present moment will come up as needed, especially through the questions that you ask and the themes that are going on in your life. That will be presented, that information will be presented, and you'll be able to understand it better. So the idea is that past life can really affect what we're going through. It can be a lot of karmic lessons that are pending. It could be something that wasn't resolved in a past life, so you've come back and incarnated and need to look at certain things and learn lessons that weren't accomplished or finished in that past life. So even, I want to say, like, even past things from this life. So you growing up, your trauma, things that have gone on in your past in this incarnation can come up also in a reading, and that's very common with my readings, at least, and it's something that I look at, and that without really controlling it comes through. So if that's something that you're needing to find information on or connect with, an Akashic Record Reading could really be great for that. And past stuff can be trauma. It can be things that you might not even know or know like happened. You just know that there's something through maybe repetitive situations or lessons or things that you keep, like that same stone you keep tripping on, right? And you think it might be linked to something past in this life or a past life. This could be a good kind of reading where you can ask about that and find more information, and that information will heal you. It'll allow you to break those cycles and find healing through that. Number 3, you are looking for healing and aren't sure where the struggle, traumas, or issues are coming from and need guidance and answers. This is very common. I get so many readings of people coming forward and they're not sure what's going on or why they're feeling a certain way, and they need to maybe understand even relationships that they've kind of are going through and they're struggling. And a lot of these repetitive issues, like I was mentioning before, can show us or bring forward information about traumas when we ask about them. And you know, the word trauma is a heavy word. It can mean a lot of things for different people. So what's traumatic to me doesn't mean that that was traumatic to you, and the value we put on it depends on how we experienced it in that incarnation and how we were living, the circumstances, the dynamics, and how we are emotionally in our personality. So all that plays a role as well. And I think a reading really can give you guidance. So it can give you the information, but also even helpful information or like steps that you can take to really start to take your spirituality, your healing in a different direction that you maybe have been experiencing it. By bringing forward that information, you're able to start to connect the dots and really feel like you're starting to make progress. And I think a lot of people, what their problem is they can't find out, they don't understand where this hurt, these emotions, maybe some physical things in their body are coming from. And a reading can bring forward that and even more information. Number 4, you need confirmation on certain intuitive hits you've been getting, but find yourself doubting the information or feelings you are receiving. This is a huge one, and I've said this in past videos. These readings, these Akashic Record readings many times, sometimes they will bring forward information that you've never heard, you never could even think to put together or to bring forward or to understand. And other times it's things that you're just needing confirmation on. So something that inside of you feels like, yeah, this I think this is what I need to do, or I think this is what's happening, but I'm not sure. And a reading can just confirm it all for you. It brings forward the information in a really, many times, straightforward way, and can just make you feel more secure in those things that you need to do, or where you're heading, or what's happening in your life, and understand it from a different perspective. Perspective's everything in the Akashic Records, and helps you really just understand it and believe and trust inside of you that everything that you're feeling and that intuition inside of you is on the right track. And sometimes we need that confirmation from the Akashic Records to tell us, yes, you're on the right path. Yes, this is happening in your life, and it feels like you're off track, but you're not really, because of this, this, and this. So yeah, I think in that sense, so many people say to me, I kind of knew these things, I just wasn't trusting them, or I knew those things were going to come up, or they were going to say that was okay. I just needed to hear it. I needed that confirmation so I can feel confident and secure in myself. Number 5, you have questions you need answers to regarding lessons and patterns that repeat in your life, as well as possibly your mission and purpose in this incarnation. An Akashic Records reading is amazing for connecting to your purpose and mission and understanding it, and sometimes even connecting to questions that we have about why we're here. Like, why am I here? Why have I incarnated? And what's the big lesson I need to learn in this life? Lessons and patterns are huge too. Those come up so much in readings, and it allows us to understand why they're happening, where they're coming from, And this could be relationships or just things that, like those things that we repeat over and over again and we're not sure why, and we can't stop ourselves from doing them. So this can really give us guidance and insight onto why it's happening, what it's there to teach us, and what many times we can do to break that cycle. Sometimes the information itself can help us break that cycle. That's huge for many people. But sometimes we do need to take action or steps to change things and make that adaptation or change in our life actually happen, because just by knowing the information, it might still continue. But for others, just the information itself can liberate them. It's amazing. Number 6, you feel open to receiving guidance about all aspects of your life and are ready to ask questions in order to receive guidance. So this really goes to show that energy of I'm open to receive, I want to hear guidance, I want help, really, right? So the first thing I always tell people in a reading is I never force anybody to go into an Akashic Records reading. People come to me, they find me, their energy vibes with mine, and we come together in this really harmonious and just beautiful way. That's why we don't force anybody to get a reading or convince them to get a reading, right? So if anybody's trying to do that, I think that's probably not a good thing, because they might force you to do something or feel kind of persuaded to do something that you might not be ready for. And if someone feels that they're not ready, then they're not ready. So if you're ready for guidance, if you feel ready to connect and receive and to start to heal, then this kind of reading could be a good start, a good place to start and start to receive not only guidance for yourself, to understand your path, to understand some of the things that are going on in your life, the relationships in your life and how you're feeling, maybe some emotional things you're going through. But we need to be open. Our energy needs to be open in order for the person that's channeling for you, in this case, for example, myself, if you're open, if you're ready, then I'm going to be a way better channel for you. I'm going to be able to receive with clarity, and not only with clarity, but also with healing, with everything that comes along with it. And I'll be able to go deeper and deeper so that you can really get to the root of everything. Number 7, you are struggling spiritually to connect to yourself, either through opening your own Akashic records or just your soul/higher self, and you don't know why. This is a really good way to understand where you're blocked or where you feel that you're not connecting. And I get a lot of clients that come to me through an Akashic Records reading and ask about this. This is a great kind of reading to ask, why do I feel that I can't connect? And am I connecting to my Akashic records? And getting insight on any blockages you might have, or any information that is kind of pertaining to why you might not feel that you're connecting, or why you're unable to connect. Sometimes those can be our own blocks inside from our childhood, our belief systems, etc. So, and maybe it's not even just an Akashic Records reading, like I was saying. Maybe it is something else. Maybe you're having trouble with your own spiritual kind of connection by yourself when you're meditating and feeling like your masters and guides in your soul are really just connected to you, and you're struggling with that. This is a great way to kind of understand where that's coming from and how you can work through that, and if there's any blockages that you need to look at. And with opening your own Akashic records, I truly feel like getting a reading from somebody else can help you find the answers that you need to why you're struggling with it. Because as I've said before, I believe anybody can open their own Akashic records as long as they have a good intention. But many times, as was my case, I couldn't connect with my own kind of belief in myself, and I was holding myself back. So a reading can really help you get to the root of that, understand where that's coming from, unblock it so that you can start to just work through that and start to connect fully to your own Akashic records. Number 8, you have started your spiritual journey and you are looking for answers to unblock certain areas of your life that feel stuck or stagnant. Especially with our spiritual journey, we're going to find it's kind of like an onion, like the onion layers, right? When I peel back this layer, something else is under it, and I need to keep working through each layer slowly but surely. And I think many times we can feel stagnant within our journey, especially if we're just starting and we're maybe blocking ourselves, or we're not seeing those underlying issues, so we're not able to heal them so we can move to our next kind of onion layer, right? So a reading can really help us with that. So you can ask questions about, why do I feel stuck with this? What's going on in this area of my life, and what do I need to look at? What do I need to learn from it? So that can come up pretty easily through a reading, especially if we're open to hearing it and open to asking about it. Because like always, the Akashic Records are all about you asking and you using your free will. If you don't ask, you won't necessarily hear it. So if you are feeling like you're stagnant and you are on the spiritual journey and you're open to understanding yourself more, opening yourself up to that, and just going through those onion layers. A reading like this could really help you figure out what it is you need to look at and what are those areas of your life that we need to unblock and kind of heal and kind of just work through. Because I don't feel like these onion layers, it's like, oh, I understand it and it's over. It's okay, I've worked through this. What's next? And that's pretty much our journey here, right? This is why we've incarnated. We're here to learn lessons, to learn about ourselves, to unblock things so that we can get to a more aligned way of living and also connecting with our purpose and mission. Number 9, you are done with getting in your own way and you are looking to change and shift your life and energy. This is a big one, right? This is when we're like, I'm ready. I'm done. I'm open. I'm ready to hear what I need to hear. And when we're in that energy, then that's when we're ready to heal. That's when we're ready to hear the information and to move forward. If we're not coming from that place, an Akashic Records reading is going to be really hard. It's going to be hard to receive information, but it's also going to be hard to ask the right questions because we're not ready. So this isn't about forcing yourself. It's just knowing within yourself, your intuition, your gut feeling. Am I ready to get a reading because I'm ready to hear this stuff? Or am I think I'm ready, but actually I'm not really because I'm scared. And you can still be scared. There's still some anxiousness and feelings of fear when we go into our first reading, for example, because we're not sure what to expect. And I always say, like, there's nothing hurtful you're going to hear in an Akashic Records reading. It's pure love, non-judgment, and just unconditional just acceptance for you. But if we don't feel that way going into the reading that we're ready, then I don't think an Akashic Records reading might be right for you. And we need to really feel that within ourselves, like, I'm ready to shift. I want to change my energy. I want to learn more lessons. I want to expand. I want to grow. I want to transform. And the questions you ask will guide you in that direction. Number 10, you have been looking to see, accept, and release certain trauma in your life so you can heal yourself. This is so powerful. The moment that we're ready to say, I'm ready to release, I'm ready to see, hear, feel, and kind of release, that is a moment that's when the information is going to come through in a reading and when we're going to ask the right questions too, right? So there's a theme here. Of course, I keep talking about the questions because I don't force any questions on anybody. You have to kind of do your homework before an Akashic Records reading and write down what you want to ask. So you're already starting that process of healing through writing those questions down. So that's a huge part of an Akashic Records reading, the questions, and you writing them down and thinking about what you want to hear and what you want to learn and what you want to understand. But the moment that we're ready, like really ready, that's when the magic happens. That's when a reading can be transformative. And I think there's like a before and after when we truly feel ready to heal. There's moments we might think we're ready and we're convinced we are, but we're not really. And when we're ready to give up all that BS and we're like, you know what? I can't live this way anymore. I can't do this. I can't do what I'm doing anymore. That's the moment that I think this kind of reading can be amazingly transformative and just so helpful. So there you have it, my 10 kind of indicators to know if an Akashic Records reading is right for you. So this will be very different for everybody, right? I think all of us are at different stages in our spiritual expansion or journey, and we have to really be true to ourselves and listen to what's going on inside of us and where we're at and if we feel ready or not. You know, I think an Akashic Records reading can go very deep if we want it to. It can be very kind of middle or kind of light, or it can go really deep. That depends on us and the questions we ask and how ready we are. You're never going to hear something that you're not ready to hear. You're never going to be dealt cards during a reading that you're not ready to deal with. It will adapt to whatever you're ready for. So even if you're at that beginning stage, but you still feel called to get a reading, I say, listen to your intuition, follow what it feels right for you. And these readings can also help you continue to expand, because as you work through certain layers with one reading, you can get a reading later on and work through more layers. So it can be really that guide and that assistance that you need to keep understanding yourself, your path. And like I said, even in previous videos, I used to get them every 6 months. It was like clockwork. I'd know, ooh, I need to get a reading right now. It feels like whatever I was working through, I've already worked through it, or it's already worn off, and I need more information. I need more guidance so that I can keep kind of moving forward and expanding. So, you know, for some people, that's how they feel and they follow through with that. And I think that's great. You have to honor yourself and what feels right. And maybe an Akashic Records reading isn't right for you. Hopefully some of this information helps you kind of sift through what you're feeling and what you think is right for you. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm always here. Feel free to comment below or send me an email through my contact form. I'll have that on the description bar below. And really, the Akashic Records are here to help everybody. It was something that we all have access to ourselves as well, if you learn to read your own. And getting a reading from somebody else can be really helpful. So I as a reader still get readings from other people, and it helps me also more so in that kind of point that I said about confirming what I'm already feeling and knowing inside of me, but I'm not quite sure. I just need that person, external kind of validation through a reading to know that, okay, yeah, I'm on the right track. I know what I'm doing. This is right for me. And this is how I am feeling, and that's okay. So these readings can be really healing. They can go really deep. They can help let go of things. They can help you, give you very kind of concrete information, steps, and action to take after a reading as well. For some people, it depends on who you are and how your personality is. Really put you on the right track for your own spiritual growth, but your own just personal healing. So any questions, like I said, comment below or send me a message. At this moment, I'm actually offering 60 and 90-minute Akashic Record readings. I'll link that information below. And if you are interested in a reading, feel free to reach out, or if you have questions about a reading, feel free to check out some of my previous videos. If you did like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That really helps support my channel. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, because there's going to be more videos about the Akashic Records, healing, and spirituality. And I will be back soon with a new video. Love you guys. Bye.